We're tackling Society6
Yeah.
and whether it's actually good for artists looking to sell.
And we're basing this on a couple of really insightful articles from marketyourart.net.
Okay.
Is Society6 good for artists? And selling on Society6 for artists, they offer a balanced look at what this platform is all about.
Okay, so for anyone unfamiliar, let's start with the basics. Society6, what's the deal?
So imagine this. You create like a killer design instead of figuring out how to print it on mugs yourself.
Yeah.
Society6 does it for you,
Okay.
but only when someone orders it.
Oh.
That's the beauty of print on demand.
So no more stockpiles of homemade t-shirts in the basement.
Right.
That's pretty appealing for artists who maybe don't have the resources for mass production.
Exactly. It significantly lowers the barrier to entry. Society6 handles the production, the shipping, even customer service.
Sounds pretty dreamy so far.
Right.
But the article title we're looking at today asks, is Society6 good for artists? Implying there might be a catch.
Gotcha. There are always pros and cons. One thing the articles highlight is that while Society6 takes care of the logistics,
Yeah.
they also take a cut of each sale.
Okay, that makes sense. They're providing a service, got to get paid somehow.
Right.
Do we know what kind of commissions we're talking?
It varies, depending on the product.
Okay.
Art prints, for example, usually have around a 10% commission,
Okay.
but on something like a phone case, it can go up to 40%.
Wow, that's a pretty significant difference.
It is.
It sounds like artists really need to factor those varying commissions into their pricing strategies.
Absolutely. It's about understanding your margins and making sure you're setting prices that are both profitable for you and competitive on the platform.
Right. You've got to balance earning a living with making your art affordable. Now, we touched on the variety of products earlier.
Yes.
I have to admit, the idea of seeing my art on, say, furniture is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Do we have a sense of just how broad their product range is?
It's surprisingly vast.
Yep.
We're talking wall art in all its forms. Prints, framed pieces, even canvases.
Wow.
Then there's home decor like throw pillows, blankets, shower curtains.
Okay, I'm already imagining my dog's face on a throw pillow. This is dangerous. But seriously, that's a lot of options.
And it doesn't stop there. Apparel is huge.
What?
T-shirts, hoodies, leggings.
Oh, wow.
Then there's tech accessories, stationery, even furniture, like those booths everyone loves.
So you could potentially furnish your entire apartment with your own designs.
Potentially, yeah.
They're both amazing and slightly terrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
It speaks to how Society6 is more than just posters and prints. It's about integrating your art into every aspect of people's lives.
Oh, that's a great point. It's not just about creating art. It's about thinking about how it's used.
Yes.
How it fits into different spaces and style.
Exactly. And that ties into one of the challenges highlighted in the article,
Right.
making sure your designs translate well across different products.
Okay.
What works on a mug might not work on leggings, and vice versa.
So an artist can't just upload the same design to every product and call it a day.
No.
It requires some forethought and planning.
It does. The articles really emphasize the importance of high-quality digital files and considering how your designs will look on different materials and at different scales.
Makes sense. A blurry photo of your cat might be cute on Instagram,
Right.
but probably not so much blown up on a canvas.
Exactly. And that's where paying attention to Society6's file requirements is essential. They have specific guidelines for each product to ensure the final printed piece looks its best.
So quality control is key. No cutting corners on those digital files.
Right.
Now, let's say an artist has created some amazing designs. They're all prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
The next hurdle is getting people to actually see their work.
Right. Absolutely. The articles make a great analogy.
Okay.
Think of Society6 as a bustling marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your stall set up, your products look great,
Okay.
but now you need to attract customers.
And in a crowded marketplace, standing out from the crowd is key.
Yes.
So how do artists go about making their Society6 stall the one everyone flocks to?
It boils down to strategic marketing,
Okay.
and the articles offer some great advice on this front.
Okay.
First impressions matter, both online and offline.
You've piqued my curiosity. What are some of the key takeaways when it comes to marketing your work on Society6?
Well, think about what draws you in when you're browsing online.
Okay.
High-quality images are crucial. We're talking clear, well-lit photos that show off your art in the best possible light.
Right. Because a tiny thumbnail that's poorly lit isn't going to make anyone click.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to showcase the same design on different products.
Right.
Seeing your cool graphic on a mug versus a tote bag really helps potential buyers visualize how it would fit into their lives.
It's like giving them a virtual try-on experience.
Precisely. Now, beyond those eye-catching visuals,
Okay.
the articles emphasize the power of compelling product descriptions.
Okay.
This is your chance to connect with buyers on a deeper level.
So more than just listing the dimensions and materials.
Much more. Share the inspiration behind the design. Give a glimpse into your creative process.
Right.
Even share how you personally use or enjoy the product.
Oh, I like that. So if I design a cute coffee mug,
Yeah.
I could talk about how much I love my morning coffee ritual with that mug.
Exactly. Make it personal,
Yeah.
make it relatable,
Yeah.
and don't forget about those all-important keywords. Sprinkle them naturally throughout your descriptions to help people find your work when they're searching for something specific.
Keywords, it's like SEO 101 for artists, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Think about what someone might type into the search bar
Okay.
if they were looking for a design like yours.
Okay, so if I'm selling, say, a minimalist line drawing of a plant,
Okay.
I'd want to include keywords like minimalist, line art, botanical, home decor,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about anticipating your ideal customer's search terms.
Okay.
Now, once you've got your shop looking sharp, the articles really emphasize the importance of leveraging social media.
Social media, it's practically free marketing, right?
Right.
But it can also feel like a whole other job. Any advice on how artists can use it effectively without getting overwhelmed?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. It's not about being on every platform, but about choosing the ones where your target audience hangs out.
Okay.
Instagram is great for visuals. Pinterest is perfect for inspiration boards. Facebook is good for building communities.
It's all about finding your people. But then what?
Right.
Just post photos of your art and hope for the best.
Well, no, you need to be strategic.
Okay.
The articles talk about creating engaging content that provides value to your followers,
Right.
share behind-the-scenes peeks of your creative process, host Q&A sessions, run contests,
Right.
offer exclusive discounts to your followers.
Oh, I love the discount idea.
Yeah.
Makes people feel like they're getting a special deal for being part of your community.
Exactly. It's all about building relationships and making people feel like they're part of your journey.
And that sense of community can be so powerful, especially in the online world.
It really is.
Now, we've been focusing a lot on Society6 specifically,
Okay.
but I'm wondering, how does it stack up against other print-on-demand platforms?
That's a great question.
The articles mentioned a few,
Yeah.
like Printful and Fine Art America.
Right, and this is where it's important to remember there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Each platform has its own strengths and weaknesses.
So it's about finding the platform that aligns best with an artist's individual goals and style.
Exactly.
What are some of the key differences artists should consider?
One big one is the business model.
Okay.
Society6 is a marketplace, meaning they curate a collection of artists
Okay.
and handle everything from marketing to fulfillment.
Right.
Printful, on the other hand, is more of a behind-the-scenes service.
So with Printful, you'd need your own online store
Yes.
and handle more of the marketing yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have more control over your brand and pricing, but it requires more work on the back end.
A classic trade-off.
Yeah.
What about Fine Art America? I feel like that name comes up a lot in art circles.
Yeah, it does. Fine Art America, as the name suggests,
Right.
leans towards higher-end art prints and reproductions.
Mhm.
They do offer some home decor and apparel,
Okay.
but their focus is on that fine art aesthetic.
So if your style is more geared towards, say, quirky T-shirt designs or trendy phone cases, Society6 might be a better fit.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
It's all about aligning your artistic style with the platform's overall aesthetic and target audience.
Makes sense. Now, I want to circle back to something we discussed earlier.
Okay.
The fact that Society6 takes a commission on each sale.
Right.
While that's pretty standard with print on demand,
It is.
it's still something artists need to factor into their pricing and overall business strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this ties into a bigger point about passive income versus active income.
Okay.
While print-on-demand platforms can create a stream of passive income,
Right.
it's rarely as simple as upload and forget.
Right. You can't just upload your designs and expect the money to start rolling in without any effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to be proactive in marketing your work,
Right.
engaging with your audience, and continuously optimizing your shop.
It's like any business, it takes work to build momentum.
Oh.
But it's interesting to think about how print on demand has changed the game for artists. I
Yeah.
imagine it's opened a lot of doors that weren't there before.
It's been revolutionary.
Yeah.
In the past, if you wanted to sell your art on products, you had to handle everything yourself. Finding a printer, figuring out inventory, dealing with shipping logistics.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare, especially for artists just starting out.
It was. It was a huge barrier to entry for many.
Right.
But print-on-demand platforms like Society6 have removed those hurdles.
Right.
Now artists can focus on what they do best.
It's like they've leveled the playing field,
Right.
making it possible for more artists to share their work with the world, which is fantastic.
And that's why, going back to the article's question, is Society6 good for artists? It really depends on your perspective and goals.
Right.
Yes, they take a commission, but you're also tapping into their established infrastructure, their marketing, reach their customer base.
It's like weighing the value they bring. You're essentially outsourcing a lot of the business side of things, which frees you up to be more creative.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that time you save can be reinvested in designing new pieces, experimenting with different styles, or exploring new marketing avenues.
So it's not just about selling prints, it's about building a sustainable art business.
Yes.
And that's something the articles emphasize.
Right.
Treating it like a business, not a hobby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That means being strategic about your pricing, understanding your target audience, and continuously finding ways to stand out in a crowded marketplace.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on something else the articles mention.
Okay.
Society6's evolving subscription model
Right.
and recent policy changes.
Yes.
Without getting into the nitty-gritty, can you give us a broad overview of what artists should be aware of?
Sure. Society6, like many platforms, is always adapting and changing.
Right.
They've introduced new features like the ability for artists to offer their own discounts, which gives them more control over pricing.
That sounds like a positive change.
It can be,
Yeah.
but it also means staying informed about these updates and adapting your strategies accordingly.
Right.
The articles on marketyourart.net provide a really great starting point.
They really do. And for anyone listening who's intrigued by Society6,
Yes.
we highly recommend checking out those articles.
Definitely.
Is Society6 good for artists? And selling on Society6 for artists. You'll find the link in our episode description.
It's a must-read for anyone considering this platform. And as with any business decision, doing your research is key.
Absolutely. Weigh the pros and cons, understand the commitment involved, and see if it aligns with your overall artistic vision.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Try different platforms, test out different strategies, and see what works best for you and your art.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
There's no one right path. It's all about finding what fits your unique style and goals. Well, on that note of exploration and discovery, I think we've reached the end of our Society6 deep dive.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise, and to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. As always, keep creating, keep exploring, keep those creative sparks flying.